Well, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Rachel Pratt. I am Vice President of Operations with BEX, and you are now going to be watching a nice webinar on our DATABEX product. This is our database that we've created to track Arizona construction projects with a valuation of $5 million or more. And I'm going to start sharing my screen with you. There we go. So this is our DATABEX product. Like I said, we track Arizona projects only for the moment that are major projects. So we're talking $5 million in construction value or higher. There are occasions where you will find some in here that are lower because of the estimated value maybe was decreased at some point. So, but $5 million and up is kind of our goal to get all the major projects in Arizona. This is our dashboard. When you log in, you'll see it is catered to your account. All these up here are buttons about what kind of information that I have saved to my account. So I have 15 saved searches. I have 25 projects that I'm following. I have 8 projects that I've expressed interest in, and I have 10 project notes. We have a keyword search right here. This is one of those save search options that I mentioned right here. All you do is click on the checkbox, give it a name, add a keyword, and search, and it'll then save it to your account. Just to get you familiar with some of the navigation up at the top, the dashboard is where we're at right now. The search button, I didn't actually need to do that. Go back. There we go. So the search menu gives you 4 different options. You can search for projects, companies, contacts, or solicitations. If you click on projects or hover over projects, it'll give you 4 other options. So you can search by details, by keyword, by location, or recent activity. And these are very similar buttons to what's down below here. So this is a project search by details, the company search, the contact search, solicitation, and then location, which is our map search. I also have a standing webinar here for you to watch on demand if you ever have any questions about some of the features or functionality of the actual app. Reports are specific to requests by customers that want a specific report. So if they're looking for maybe an analytics report that they want to do every year, you can put in a request to us and we will actually create a custom report for you. That is an extra charge just to keep you informed. There is also a manager tab. Now the manager tab is going to let you control the account. So you may not be a manager to the account depending on how the account was set up. If you are a manager, you have the ability to go in and change the users in your license. You change licenses for the account of your company. I'm getting tongue-tied today. You can also contact me or Rebecca Morris at any time just by clicking on Contact BEX. And then right here is where all my account information is saved. And we'll go through all of this in a minute. On the left up here at the top, this is a very, very handy tool. This is our project ID search. So we keep track of the projects with certain project IDs. They're real simple, usually 4-digit number that you can just type in, press enter, and it'll take you straight to the project profile. So if you ever have that ID number, maybe you're referencing the magazine or something, that's a really quick way to get to a project profile. All right, now I did cover the buttons here. Below that on the dashboard is our recently added projects. So you always stay on top of what projects we're putting in here. You can keep track of what everything that we're recently putting into the database. So there is also a download button on all the results tables in the database. You'll be able to download as a CVS file that's compatible with Excel or as a PDF on all of the tables. So just keep that in mind. We also have headers that are sortable, so you can sort by header. by owner, and etc. And then the details, these will take you to the project profile. So let me go ahead and get started with a search. We're going to go down to our project search by details. And we have a shortcut menu on the left that kind of covers all the menu options at the top. This is a saved search option. There's 3 places in the database that you can save a search. One of them is the keyword, which we saw on the dashboard. The other one is this one, which is the project search by details. And the last one is solicitation search by details. So if I want to save this one, I can just call this demo and give it a date. I can search by project name if I'm looking for a specific project. I can search by owner. I can search by city, state, zip, sector, which is either going to be a public or a private, federal. So if you're looking to filter down the type of project, if you are a general contractor or design firm, you can also filter out projects that have that design contract available or the construction contract available. So that is an option as well. We have multiple multi-select items here. So method of delivery, if you're looking for a certain, maybe you know it's a CMAR project that you're looking for or whatever it is, you have an option to do that. Most popular feature one is probably the project status. This is also multi-selectable. You just need to click, click, click. There's no control click. If you don't want it, you just remove it by clicking on it again, or you can click the X next to the name. Market sector is another big one. We have categorized all of the projects into 2 major groups, horizontal and vertical. Now, our idea of horizontal projects are going to be your bridges, it's going to be your civil stuff, your utilities. We also have parks and rec in there, as well as energy production, solar and other energy products, that kind of thing. So those are going to be in the horizontal. Everything else is vertical build. That's going to be under vertical. We do have some subcategories as well. So if you're looking for certain healthcare projects, you click on healthcare and it's going to pick up all of the healthcare products projects underneath, as well as maybe hospitality. I can pick up all of these hospitality projects or statuses just by clicking on the hospitality. So keep in mind that if you're looking for all vertical, you don't have to select all the vertical, you just have to select vertical and it'll pick up everything else. We also have a division search. It only searches to the first level of divisions. So you cannot get super specific in the search for divisions, but you do have the opportunity to narrow it down by division number. You can also search by estimated value from a low or high perspective, or the square footage from a low or high as well. So that's kind of covering everything you can do in the project details. So let's go ahead and try one. Let's do, let's find one that has a design contract available. And we're going to pick a status that's probably in planning because it's not in design yet. So this planning is also going to pick up the pre-planning because the word planning is in pre-planning. Just keep that in mind. This is a, that's how this database kind of functions. It's a relational database, and it is name specific. Let's see, what kind of market do we want to work on or look into? Probably something in the vertical. Let's pick hospitality and maybe mixed use and see what we get. We can also, if we're looking for a sweet spot, we can put in valuation or square footage. But I think for now, just for the demo purpose, I'm going to leave this open. And let's go ahead and search. Now, by default, it's going to pick up everything in the database, even if it's completed or canceled. However, since we chose a status that was specifically in planning, we're not going to have completed or canceled projects. So if it was something other than, planning or design, something status specific, you can make it display only active projects, which are going to be ones that are not completed or canceled, or completed projects. So let's go ahead and look at what we have here. We're going to show you, We're going to show you the project ID, project name, owner, we have a status, a city, and then we have this little eyeball here on the left, or on the right, excuse me. This eyeball is going to tell you if you're following the project or not. And I'll show you what that means when we dive into one of the project profiles. So let's look at what we got here. Let's see if we can find one. These are all in planning, so they're very early. And I want to know more about this Francisco Grande. So let's open that one up. I'm clicking on details, and now it's opening up the project profile. So it looks like this is a master plan, and there isn't a whole lot of information or even individual projects underneath it. So this is probably not the best option to show you for demo purposes. So let's try the ASU new multi-purpose hockey arena. Okay, so this isn't a planning stage. If there was some kind of rendering available, we would have it displayed here. Yeah, this is what I do. I do this every time. I always search for planning and then there's nothing built out, so I can't show you everything that we have to offer. So what I'm going to do is search again. And I'm going to look for something that does not have the construction contract available. We're going to look for something maybe in pre-construction in the market of, let's see. All right, we'll just go with hospitality again. And office, that'll work. Okay, so these should be further along in the process. So I can show you more of what we have to offer in what the profile looks like. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, let's try the Sierra Bloom Holiday Inn and Suites. All right, see now we do have a rendering because it's past the design phase. If you click on the rendering word, it's going to open up the full view of the rendering, and then you can just exit out of it. Right here, this is one of our custom-made timelines that we had added to the database. You see these little markers? These markers are going to tell us individual dates of events. This particular one is for subbids that were due, and we have solicitations that we can look at inside of the actual project profile. But you can see we're about to start construction on this. This is our today indicator on the timeline. And here's just kind of basics of the name of the actual project. And then remember earlier I mentioned that project ID. This is that one, 1848. So that's the project ID for this. If you want to follow these projects, if you want to get email notifications whenever these are updated, you just follow the project by clicking on that link, and then that's it. It adds it to your account. And anytime this project is updated, you get an email notification letting you know what was updated and a link straight back to the project profile. If you ever want to submit an update or ask a question about a project, you just click on this and it'll send me an email and I can distribute it as needed. You can also PDF these projects. So if you wanted to print this out and take it into a meeting or whatever, this is an option for you as well. I can show you what that looks like. Let me get back here really quick. So the last checked on date is when our researchers went in and inquired about this project. Either they looked for documentation or they reached out to one of the contacts to ask a question, find a status update, added a document, whatever it was. That's when our researchers last looked into the project. When we had an update, then this is the last update sent on 10/9. That was the last time we got an update and we sent it out to our followers of the project and let them know that, hey, maybe the status was updated to pre-construction, or we added a source or whatever it was. Let me get back to there. So that PDF I mentioned earlier, here's what that looks like. Of course, we put that rendering in there. We put in project fundamentals, right? The owner, the market sector, the project ID, the address, the project type, the valuation, those fundamental project details. We also put in the project description. So this is a 78,000 square foot, 5-story wood framed hotel with 119 rooms and 144 parking spaces. And if there is a more detailed description, we can add that in as well, just underneath that. We also add in the project timeline events. So we see we have a submit request here, and then we have estimated construction scheduled from 11/1 to 11/30 of 2021. We also add in that status, pre-construction, any status notes that we have, and I'll explain more about what that is in a minute, and then any of the previous status notes. We also add in all the contacts with the contact information, emails, phone numbers, and their role in the actual project. We have a map showing you where it is, the divisions, and any solicitations that are assigned to this project as well. So you can see we have these sub-bid requests that we mentioned earlier on the timeline. So let me get back to the project and I can actually go through this project profile with you. On the right, you're going to have the status of the project. Now we searched for pre-construction projects. This is in pre-construction. Just below that is the most current status note. Now this is our way of kind of communicating with you on what we what we learned about the project, who we talked to, and when we talked to them. So per our sources on 9/8 of 2020, the owner is in the process of finalizing a new contractor for the project. They are planning and starting construction in November. So they're finalizing that. They've selected it. They're not disclosing it yet. And this is the on the job section. If you're familiar with our magazine, we have a little on the job section that kind of gives you the who's of who's playing on that particular project. This is our version of that. We have the owner, the design firm, and the prime contractor. If you want to find out what else has been going on with this project, any previous status notes that we've added to this, you can just click on this drop down here and it drops down all the previous status notes. We do have project details on the left right. There it gives you those fundamentals that I mentioned earlier. The valuation, the square footage, the sector, the market, the address, the project description, and the method of delivery. Under detailed description, we're going to give you any of those details that we didn't have any generic or not generic, but a basic project description. And we can also include other pertinent information about the project that we need to communicate to you. Underneath the details is the divisions. They're all listed out, like I said, just to that first level. And then we have the contacts. So the contacts we're going to have are the actual people that are working on these projects. These are the actual architects, the project architects, the project managers, the owners, etc. So we have structural engineers on this one, the civil engineer, and we do have that person. Remember the actual person. And you can see when I hover over these that they start to link. This will take us to a contact detail of the actual person. So I can see, okay, I've got Jake Early, the project manager. Here's his email. Here's the company he works for, the office, and the phone number. And then any projects that he's actually assigned to in the database. So if I come in here and talk to this guy about the project that I just looked at, I can click on his name and find out what other projects he's assigned to try to see if I can work with them on those as well. So really kind of a hidden clue there. We also have links to the company profiles. So if I wanted to check out Hunter Engineering's company profile, I just click on that. It opens up, gives me basic information about their website, what company type they are, their offices that they have. This is a Scottsdale office. Now keep in mind, this is only going to show what we have assigned to projects in the database. So we're not trying to give you every Hunter Engineering office in the country, just the ones that we have that are relevant to a project inside the database. And the same goes with our contacts. We're not trying to get the administrators or the coordinators. These are the presidents, the decision makers, the business development people, the project managers, anyone that we can assign to a project or think is important for you to know, or is a database user, will be listed inside of these company profiles. And again, we always try to give you the email, the phone number, direct phone number, cell phone number, and LinkedIn as well. So if you click on, let's see here, we click on Daniel Leon, click on those details. And again, it's going to take us to that company, or excuse me, the contact detail information. And it's going to list all those projects that he's actually assigned to. Below the contacts is the active projects that this company is on. These are ones that are under construction, in design, planning, but they're just not completed or canceled. So if they're completed or canceled, we have another list for that as well. These will all link to those projects, and we give you the status of the projects as well. This one on the completed will give you links to the owner, so you can see what else that owner is doing. And I'm going to scroll back up here. If this company had an association with another company, maybe a sister company, or it was acquired by another company, we will try to communicate that to you through the associated companies. Now, one thing that we haven't got to on the project profile is the notes. You can add notes to projects or to companies in this for you, and they add it to your account. The really cool thing about this is that you can have a private note or a shared note. And what the shared note does is it sends the information to your team members that have licenses with the database so that you can communicate with them on the projects inside of the database, which is really neat. So I can say, hi, everyone, I'm going after this project or whatever it is. You can share that and it'll send them an email. Or you can say, I talked to so-and-so on blah, blah, blah. It's almost like a CRM system where you can just add in your information about the people you talk to and you have it listed there for you in the future. So that's a really cool thing about the company profiles. Let's jump back over to the project profile. So one other thing I want to mention about the contacts is that it is also a downloadable option as a CSV or a PDF. As a CSV, you're going to get what looks like an Excel spreadsheet, right? It's going to have the name of the person, the company name, the title, the office, the direct phone, cell phone, and emails. Perfect for uploading into your CRM. Or you can download it as a PDF. Now, the interesting thing about the PDF on the contacts is that it actually downloads it as a contact card. So it looks like a contact card like these instead of, another Excel spreadsheet because we get so many of those. Oh, did I not get that done? There we go. So now it opens it up as the contact cards. They're a little different from the other download options in the database. So let's get through contacts. You can see we do have stamps on here indicating who is a design firm. We also have them on here dedicated for the prime contractor. However, this one was selected, not disclosed, so we do not have that stamp for the prime contractor on this particular project. We have a map. It is interactive. You can zoom in, zoom out, pan, get your bearings on where you are. And then we have the files. So we're talking any articles that we've covered in our magazine. We pull them every time we publish anything about the magazines, and we list them in here. So you can view them from here. And you can find out, sorry about that, my Zoom is very sensitive. You can view them from here or download them. We also have brochures, we have municipal documents, and then of course we have the plans and specs on the ones that are available. And then we have renderings as well. So we do have those all available for viewing or downloading. So let me jump back up. There's a lot to cover in the project profile. We left off on the right-hand side at the previous status notes. So below that will be any links. Maybe this is a, what we add here is links maybe that the owner has provided, a website that they've created for the project. We'll add that in here. Any solicitations for this project, we will add here, and you can go to the solicitation from here as well. Again, we add in that timeline, the name of the name of the project. This one doesn't have a contact, but it should. Let's see if this one has one. There we go. So we have the context for the solicitation, the solicitation details, as well as the due date, the description of the solicitation will let you know if there's a pre-submittal conference or not, and then any additional notes. Often in the public sector, you will find the schedule for the procurement in here. So selection date, the interview date, etc. When this has been processed and awarded and everything like that, we don't do it for sub bids. We don't do it for sub bid requests, but for anything else, CMARs, IFBs, RFQs, we will gather all the firms submitting, and I'll show you what that looks like later on. We do have all the solicitation files and the plans and specs as well. And that kind of covers the solicitation. I'm jumping back to the project profile, and I'm sorry if I'm getting a little getting lost here. So earlier we talked about notes, the company notes. You can now also do that on the project. So if you want to keep your information about tracking these projects in here, you can, either privately or shared. Now shared is just to your team members, not to anybody else. Just keep that in mind. Associated projects. So if this was which it is, part of a master plan, we always put in the master plan or the sister projects in here, or if there's any other associations, like maybe it's a phased project, for example, we'll put in the other phases there as well. Now, interested parties is a way for you to communicate with other database users that you want to do work on this job, or you have services that you want to provide for this job. So you just put in the services that you want to provide, say I'm interested, and then it'll refresh the page, and then your name and contact information is there for anyone to contact you from. So there it is. Now I really don't provide low voltage, but so what I can do actually is just I am not interested anymore. Click on the button and then it'll remove my name. I feel like I haven't done this in a few months. I'm like rusty. Okay. So there we go. That's the project profile. And I know it's a lot. So I just want to go through a couple of other things. We have the project keyword. One of the things I like to use in this one is like garage or CIP, things like that. Now, I do want to note that this does not search uploaded documents. Unfortunately, it does not. It won't search through documentation that has been uploaded. Only information that's been key entered into the project. So just keep that in mind. Now, location, our map search. This is one of my favorites. It takes a minute to load, and what it's doing is it's finding your location, and then it's going to be plotting every single project in the database that is active onto one map for you to zoom in, zoom out, pan, etc. This is a really useful tool when you're out driving around and you see like a fence go up or something under construction and you don't know what it is. This is a really cool tool for you to just pan to where you want to go and then find out what project it is. It's getting load here. It's a little slow today, but then it'll drop. There it is. So like I said, it's dropping pins for all projects in the database. So let's say I was driving around let's see, Indian School and 32nd Street, and I saw something happening and I wanted to find out what it was. All right, I'm hovering over it. Oh, this is the standard on 29th. It's currently under construction. It's $5.4 million. I want to know more about this project, so I can click on full details and it'll open up that project profile. Or I can add it to a list. I can add as many projects as I want to a list. And what it's going to do is create this list underneath the map. It's like a customized list for you to download as a CSV or a PDF. Just kind of a cool way to create a list out of the database of all the projects that you want. Now, I do want you to note that this particular field is going to pan the map. It does not filter. It will not search for anything except for locations. So I usually say just put in a city or that you're looking for, and it'll kind of, like maybe I don't want to pan with my hand all the way to Tucson. I could just put in Tucson and it'll open up that map right there. Now, what you can do on this one is filter by market sector. You can show the projects you're following, or you can show completed or canceled projects in here as well. So what that does, if I say show my completed projects only, or my followed projects only, it's going to pick up all of these blue markers. All the blue markers are projects I'm actually following. So you'll see throughout that I have a few in here that you're like, okay, yep, that one's blue, that one's blue. Those are projects I'm following. So I know I'm already following those projects. So just to give you an idea of how this works, let's go ahead and pick a market sector. Let's say I want to search for higher ed. And then we zoom out. I'm not sure how much Peoria has in there. Did I press search? I think I did. Oh, I'm not following any. Let me remove that one. Search. There they are. So these are all my higher ed projects. Anyway, this is a really fun tool to get lost in. So I want to move on because we have a limited amount of time. So project search by recent activity. So this is going to be our recently added and our recently updated projects. So added is going to give me the same list that we saw on the dashboard. Remember, if I'm following any of these, I'll see this eyeball and it'll show as purple. And then I know I'm following that project. Unfortunately, I haven't followed any projects recently, so these are not lit up. But let me show you if I can find one that is. All right. I think you get the point, but apparently I'm not following any that have been updated recently. So these are downloadable, CSV, or PDF. Let me show you what that PDF looks like. It doesn't look like the contacts, they're not cards. It does look like a table, but it is easy to read and it's all organized. So nice and printable. All right, let me back up. Search by project. We went through everything on there. I'm going to jump to search by companies now. Now the search by projects, details, search by companies. These are both shotgun or narrow or broad approach to searches. If you're looking for a specific project or a list of projects, it works in the same way. Now, if I wanted to find maybe a certain company, I just type in the name, it'll start populating stuff. And if I see it, then I can go ahead and select it. There. Now that is a direct approach. A more broad approach is looking for all the electrical engineers in Arizona that work on, let's see, let's go with public works. Search. And now I have a list. I have 10 that specifically work in public works for electrical engineers in Arizona. It's probably not the best one. Let's try. Architect's always been really, really useful. These are multi-selectable. This one is a control-click option, and we can search. There we go. Now we got a list of all these architects that do public works in Arizona. So this is also downloadable. Keep that in mind. Okay, let me move on. We did go through a company profile already. I'm going to go to contact search. This is a name or email, or if you're looking for a particular type of person, maybe a real estate broker, or maybe the company that's like, you were looking for people inside of a landscape architecture firm, that kind of thing. So you can search that and it'll bring up all the people. and that is also downloadable. So this one's much more useful for your CRM because it gives you the people, the contact information and emails. Okay, let me go ahead and go to solicitations. This is that third save search option that I mentioned. And one of the really nice things about the save search option is it's not just going to save it to your account. It does more than that. We have something that's called the digest. We have a daily or weekly digest. And what that does is it runs those save searches on a daily or weekly basis. And it picks up the results of those searches that are new to the database, brand new projects, or recently updated. And it will send it to an email with a list of all of those. I actually have it open to show you what it looks like. So this was my daily digest that I got today. So I was looking for new and updated projects. I've got 10 on here. These are brand new projects. There's my heading, 10 projects that were added yesterday. Here's my new and updated for updated project results. We have 44 projects that had updates, viable updates sent out yesterday. So you can see these are linked directly to the project profile. Super easy. And this is one of the reasons you want to set up those saved searches. All right, solicitations. Let's get back to this. You can sort by sector if you're looking for a particular one. Obviously, public is a big one here. We do track private solicitations. They're mostly for sub-bid requests. And you can find ones that have been closed or awarded to find out awardees. Let's see, you can also search by due date. So let's find public. We want to find ones that are open for the next month. And let's see, we do want to pick a market sector. Let's go with Parks and Rec this time. Let's see if there's anything open for Parks and Rec in the next month. Nope. So we'll pick a different one. Okay. I'm gonna go with, let's see, highway, roads, and streets. You know, ADOT's always got something up and don't they? Okay, let's go with to the December 1st. We definitely should have some open in there. There we go. Now I can actually show you what I'm trying to show you. So you can see we have the project name here, the type and availability. So this is an IFB, this is a sub-bid request, this is an RFQ for design, and etc. A solicitation number, the due date, and if there's a pre-submittal conference. If there, the details will take you to the details for the solicitation. If you click on the project name, it'll take you to the project profile. So keep that in mind. We have that timeline again. It's showing us the RFQ was advertised here and that it has interviews scheduled for 1/4/2021. So this one closes on 11/19 at 2 p.m. for design for City of Mesa for the Val Vista Drive US 60 to Pueblo Avenue. You can see we have details in here for the pre-submittal conference. We tell you if it's mandatory or not. We also give you the address. In this case, it's virtual because, you know, COVID. We also have notes in here about the particular solicitation, anything that they wanted to communicate to you, we will add in here, and then also a tentative schedule. And I want to show you ones that have been awarded so you can see what this looks like. We do have the RFQ uploaded here. Now let me get back to the search. What we're going to do is we're going to search for ones that have been awarded. So I'm going to say I want some that have been awarded just so I can show you all the information that we provide for you. All right, let's check out Lindsay Road, Loop 202. All right, we do have a lot of related solicitations in here. So if it's the same project with multiple solicitations, we list all of the other ones right there. Okay, so okay, that one was not, this one is closed, but it doesn't look like it's been awarded yet. Let me see, go back further. We definitely should have something awarded by now on this one. It's making me a liar. Let's try again. Okay, I got a better idea. Let me get back to, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying to find one that has a solicitation that's been awarded. And so I need to find a project that has the solicitation that's been awarded. No solicitations on this one. Okay, well, what I'm trying to say is that normally when the solicitation has been awarded, we have a list of all of the firms that submitted and then a little note on here that when it was awarded or who it was awarded to. And hopefully I can find one for you when I'm browsing through here, because you can see I'm just doing this on the fly and it's probably not the best idea when I'm trying to give you good information. Okay, so let's search. Actually, I think we've covered all the searches. We've covered the projects, companies, contacts, and solicitations. So I can take a second to answer any questions about the search, and then I can run into some of the other stuff real quick. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer? Or a search that you would like me to search? No. Okay, well, you can interrupt me at any time. I'm going to keep going. So the manager section, if you are assigned as a manager to your account, this is what you have access to. Your company information, which is going to take you to the company profile. If you see something that is not correct or that needs to be updated, most of the time people look at this and say, oh, that guy is no longer with the company, etc. You can shoot me an email and I will be happy to update that. What you can update in your own account is you can add a new user, you can assign a license, you can remove licenses, and I think that's it for the moment. However, sorry, I did not have my coffee this morning and I'm feeling it. Okay, so if I wanted to add a new user, for example, maybe I have 3 users and one of them has left the company and I need to add a new person. So what I do is I add a new person, I select the office they're in, the name, the email, the title, blah, 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 and then I save it. Now, what happens after that is you have to assign them, you have to enable their access. So you enable their access and then they will have that 3rd license. We got to make sure you have that license available first. So you have to remove or disable access to another person in order to get that extra license. I hope that makes sense. All right, what else you can do as a manager is check the access log. So you can see who's been logging in and using the actual app and who has not and how often, etc. And so that's kind of what the manager privileges have at the moment. We're actually expanding on this. We're developing it further so that there is more things for you to actually edit and change for your company, etc. Now, let me keep going. Contact Bex. If there are any questions that you have on this app, I am more than happy to answer them for you. I'm very quick to respond. You can shoot me an email. You can call me. This is my cell phone number. I'm very easy to get a hold of. However, one more important section that we need to go through is the account. So you click on your name and you're going to get a bunch of little options here. This is where everything's saved in your account. Everything that you've, all of your saved searches, any of the projects that you followed, your notes for your companies, your notes on projects, as well as projects that you've expressed interest on, etc. So let me get through the account really quick. Here's my profile information. I can change my LinkedIn, my phone number, etc. If you wanted to change your company information, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to do it for you. You do have some account preference options at the top. If you do not want shared notes enabled on your profile, so you don't want to hear what your other team members are sharing notes about, you can disable that here. You can also enable the daily digest or weekly digest, depending on which one you want, or both, or none, whatever you want. Or you can disable notifications about the product itself. Now, this isn't any marketing stuff. This is like, here's some updates that we've made, or we're scheduled for maintenance on this day, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of the pertinent information that I'm trying to communicate to you, not trying to market you anything. Notification email, if you want to change the email you get your notifications to, the notifications being project updates, as well as the daily digest. This is where you would add that email. Now you can also see who's in your company from here and who has access. On the project notes, it looks identical to the company notes. It just has companies instead of projects. So this one will give you the project, the note that you left, the day you left it, as well as whether or not it was shared or private. You can remove them from the list here. You have to remove them from the project to remove them from the project. This is just kind of a list of an easy way for you to track stuff that you're trying to keep in your attention, I guess is the best way to say it. And the company notes looks exactly the same. Like I said, it just has companies instead of projects. The next one is the following projects. So this one is a little different than the other tables in here. It's quite useful, actually. You can keep track of projects in here like a CRM system just by adding tags. You can add a tag. Maybe you want to say, I need to follow up on this project on December 1st. I can add a tag of December 1st, update it, and then whenever December 1st comes up, I just have to search for that tag, and everything that I've labeled as December 1st is going to pop up into my list. So you know which ones you need to follow up on which days. It's a really useful tool. You can add multiple tags. So if you want to maybe put this one in another category, or whatever your tag system is, however you want to set that up is up to you. But it is an option in here, and it's very useful. You can also remove notifications on updates. So for example, I don't want to know if this project is updated, but I want to keep it on my list. I just remove the notification from the checkbox. And of course, you can search for projects you're following and tags, like I said. So just to give you an idea of what this looks like, I'm going to search for, let me find one that has more than one. Salad. Another one that I've seen this used for is like regional sales managers managing a team of salespeople. They can assign projects to the actual salespeople they're managing, so they know who's on what project. It's really neat. And then you can use this in a collaboration with your notes, so the project notes. So you can, tag the projects with the tags, and then put in notes about what you're supposed to do. Kind of a cool way to do it. You can also unfollow the projects from here as well. It's one of my favorites, like this one, and the search by location, the map search, one of my favorites. I know, it's kind of weird, but I like it. I built it. It's my baby. Okay, the next one is interested. So these are the projects I've expressed interest in. You can remove them, go to the project from here. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then saved searches. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the saved searches are more than just a quick way to search. They are also part of your daily digest. So now I have all of these searches set up. Every day, the program runs each of these searches. When it gets a result that's new to the database from the day before or updated from the day before, it's going to put it in that list that I showed you my daily digest earlier. So this is a really useful tool to keep up to date on everything that's happening in the database. So that is where you can find those. We have them for the projects, the keywords, and solicitations. So if you find out, you know what, I actually don't like that search, it's not set up exactly how I want it, you can edit them from here too. Just click on edit, change the criteria, save it, and now it's saved to the new criteria. So that is the saved searches. So that kind of completes my download of everything in the database. And I'm going to open it up for questions and see if I can answer any questions for you. Does anybody have anything they want to ask or any searches that they want to search? At all. I have enabled you to talk. You just need to unmute yourself if you'd like. Or not. Okay. Well, if you do have any questions, I am available to answer them. Just shoot me an email at rpratt@asbex.com, and I will be happy to help you out with that. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I will be sending this recording out to everyone that's registered. So I hope that you stay safe out there and have a great day.